the city lights of Seoul blurred through the rain-streaked window of the small apartment. Inside, Han Ji-woo traced the lines of Kang Tae-yoon's sleeping face, a quiet promise passing between them in the dim light. Their love was a secret, a fragile thing whispered in the spaces between classes at the prestigious law school and the heavy expectations of Tae-yoon's powerful family. 1 week later, the world fractured. News reports called it a scandal, the tragic suicide of a prosecutor's son. But as Ji-woo stood in the relentless downpour at the funeral, hidden amongst the crowd, he knew. He clutched a worn photograph of Tae-yoon, the edges soft from his touch. This wasn't grief. It was a declaration of war. 2 years passed. Han Ji-woo was gone, burned away to ash. In his place stood Yoon Jae, a sharp, polished lawyer with a smile that never reached his eyes. He moved through the gleaming corridors of Seoul's most formidable law firm, his every step a calculated move closer to the truth, his heart a cold, hard stone in his chest. His target was Seo Min-jae, a senior partner at the firm. Min-jae was a ghost, a man of sharp suits and sharper words, his face an unreadable mask. He was everything Ji-woo despised, a symbol of the corrupt power that had swallowed Tae-yeon whole. Yet, in unguarded moments, Ji-woo saw a flicker of something else in Min-jae's eyes, a profound loneliness that echoed his own. Late one night, searching Min-jae's office for leverage, Ji-woo found a locked drawer. Inside, nestled amongst legal files, was a small silver locket. His breath caught. He'd seen it before, around Tae-hyun's neck. With trembling hands, he opened it. Inside was a tiny, folded picture of a smiling Tae-hyun and a younger, softer-looking Min-jae. They were brothers. The discovery shattered Ji-woo's carefully constructed world of hate. He saw Min-jae in the firm's library, staring blankly at a page, the weight of the world on his shoulders. The man he had hunted was not a monster, but another soul grieving the same loss, trapped in the same gilded cage. The truth, when it finally unraveled, was uglier than Ji-woo could have imagined. Tae-yoon hadn't been a victim of a random act, but of his own family's corruption. Min-jae had tried to protect him, to pull him out, but he had failed. He had been covering not for a crime he committed, but for a love he couldn't save. Rain lashed against the courthouse walls. In a deserted alley, Ji-woo finally confronted him, the cold metal of a knife heavy in his hand. "Did you ever think of him?" Ji-woo's voice broke, a raw wound of pain and fury. Min-jae didn't flinch. He simply looked at Ji-woo, his eyes filled with a sorrow that mirrored Ji-woo's own. "Every day," Min-jae whispered, and stepped closer, taking Ji-woo's trembling hand and pressing the tip of the blade against his own heart. "If this is what it takes for you to heal, then do it." The knife clattered to the wet pavement. Tears and rain mingled on Ji-woo's face as he collapsed against Min-jae. "I wanted to destroy you," he sobbed, "but all I found was him in you." In the end, Min-jae confessed, taking the fall to finally sever the rod of his family. The headlines screamed, and the empire crumbled. Visiting day was gray and sterile. They sat opposite each other, separated by a pane of thick glass. "They say love can't survive in a place like this," Ji-woo said, his hand resting on the glass. Min-jae mirrored the gesture, a faint, sad smile on his lips. "Then let's prove them wrong."